Richard Bennett attending by Zoom. We have physical quorum present. Pursuant to our board rules and regulations, I need a motion authorizing board members Rice and Bennett to participate via Zoom in light of the COVID-19 pandemic that continues to cause health concerns for all of us to be present at this meeting. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Thank you very much. Roll call vote. Janet Long?
Aye.
Pat Gerard?
Aye.
Garden Rice?
Yes.
Okay, and myself, I vote yes also. Richard Bennett is not present at this time. Okay, thank you. This is the time for public comment. The public can make comments both in person or by phone by calling 415-655-0002. The meeting ID is 172-515-8278. Are there any members of the public in attendance or on the phone who wish to speak?
Currently, there are no people on the phone, and I see that the lobby is empty, so there is nobody here to speak at this time. Clarissa has confirmed that we had no public comment prior to the meeting. Clarissa, can you confirm there has been no public comment since the meeting has begun? Okay. I think that concludes public comment.
Okay, thank you. All right, so our next item of business, or next,
Yes,
Richard.
it's that. There's no.
Oh, Richard Bennett, you're back online. We just had a vote on authorization for you to be present via a video meeting through Zoom. So just wanted to let you know what happened.
Richard, can you hear us? You're on mute.
Turn your mute.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So our first item is to approve our November 14th, 2019 minutes.
Move approval.
Okay. So
I'll support.
and a second. All right. So we'll reverse it this time. Janet Long made the motion. Pat Gerard made the second. Thank you both very much. Roll call vote.
Okay.
Janet Long?
Aye.
Pat Gerard?
Aye.
Garden Rice?
Aye.
Richard Bennett?
Yes.
Okay, and myself, I vote yes. So we have a unanimous vote on that item. Okay.
Excuse me for one moment,
Yes.
Chair Barkley. We're having difficulty hearing you. Can we ask somebody to check that your microphone is on? And maybe you need to, okay,
If the light is on, it should be on, right?
It's on.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that he has his mask on. That's all.
I think that's better, a little better.
I'll stand a little closer to the mic, okay? Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Okay. So we need to nominate a slate of officers for 2021. I understand Brad has provided staff recommendations for each position. Brad?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. If you want to go ahead and show the slide, Julie. And then the slide is essentially what the people here have it in front of there on paper. The first action item for the nominating committee today would be to nominate the 2021 slate of officers that you see on the first page. Under number one, I want to first recognize that our current chair, Mr. Barkley, will be leaving us very sadly after serving us in many capacities. But I want to thank Commissioner Gerard for being willing to step up to, after enjoying being the Pinellas County Commission Chair so much this year, just kidding, that she will serve as PSPA's chair. She is recommended for the chair position. Want to thank Commissioner Gina Driscoll, who has expressed interest in moving up from Secretary Treasurer to Vice Chair. Dan Saraki for moving from the Executive Committee position to the Secretary Treasurer position. They've all expressed interest in doing that, and that just moves them up. And then I want to thank Commissioner Richard Bennett for expressing interest in serving on the Executive Committee, and I think he will be great serving in that capacity as well. So that is the first action item, is for the committee to discuss and to maybe move these executive committee members and officers for 2021 forward to the PSTA board.
I would move recommending the officers as spelled out to the executive committee.
To the board.
Okay. All right.
Second.
Okay, good. Are there any additions that have come in since this report?
Julie, can you stop sharing the slide for a second? Yeah. Mr. Chair, no. Unless Rachel, who is also listening in, if she can say anything, I have not heard from anybody else.
Okay.
On
Thank
this.
you. All right. So do I have a motion to nominate staff's recommendation for chair, vice chair, and secretary treasurer for 2021?
Yeah, you're.
You do, Commissioner
Okay,
Long.
all right, that's good. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so we'll have a roll call vote. So Commissioner Long,
Aye.
Commissioner Gerard,
Aye.
Commissioner Rice.
An enthusiastic yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Bennett.
Yes.
Okay, and I myself, Chair Barkley, vote yes. Passes unanimously. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you for being willing to serve in these capacities. Okay, our next item is board committee appointments. We need to fill quite a few vacancies on our committee. Staff has also provided recommendations for these positions so far. Brad, would you let us know about those?
And Julie, if you could share the next slide with the table. All right, so for those at home, you might be able to see that better, but at your places is the same thing. So you can see on the second page of the handout a list of the current committee assignments, and then down below would be next year's proposed committee assignments that you can all make. You can make one recommendation vote to fill these different positions. Rachel sent out a survey to all of the board members, and they have expressed interest. I want to thank several folks for being willing to join in different capacities. You can see that we've already voted to recommend Mr. Richard Bennett to the Executive Committee. The Finance Committee will have Chair Barkley moving off and Ken Welch as an alternate moving off, so those are vacant still. And we did not get any current board member expressing interest in serving in that capacity. The gentleman that will be replacing Chair Barkley on PSTA is Gulfport Vice Mayor Michael Fredovich, and he has expressed interest in serving on the Planning Committee. So you can see his name there down below. And we would still have a vacancy, or the committee could recommend moving Keith Sabile from Pinellas Park to permanent, and then the vacancy could be an alternate. On Legislative Committee, we have two new folks. Oh, I also want to mention that Commissioner Darden Rice, has let me know that she will be stepping down from PSTA. And so her position on the Planning Committee is what created that vacancy. So we're going to miss her terribly as well. On the Legislative Committee, Jamie Robinson and David Albritton have volunteer to serve on that committee with us, and I'm very happy for that. I think Mr. Albritton, being from Clearwater, with a lot of our legislative initiatives over the next year, working toward funding for the Clearwater Transit Center replacement will be helpful. You can see nominating. Josh Schulman has volunteered to serve on the nominating committee and personnel committee, and I had my one-on-one with him earlier today, and I thanked him for that. And then we still have a vacancy remaining on nominating. As it stands today, PSTA still has 3 yet to be determined board members. We do have Michael Fredovich, who will be serving, replacing Mr. Barkley, but the county commission has not technically voted on their replacement for Commissioner Welch yet. I think it'll be maybe next week, perhaps. I know that incoming Commissioner Renee Flowers has expressed interest to potentially incoming chair Mr. Eggers already. In St. Petersburg, Councilwoman Deborah Figgs Sanders has expressed interest in serving as the other PSTA representative other than Commissioner Driscoll. So we'll see if that moves forward. And then in Dunedin, with the departure by Commissioner Heather Gracie, there'll be a new member there. And I understand that John Tornga, who you all remember used to be on PSTA, he is interested in maybe serving there, but I was told by their attorney that they're not going to vote until December 3rd, the day after our meeting. So my recommendation on the remaining vacancies that you see on the list is just to leave them vacant, and maybe we can fill, once those 3, it's always my goal to try to have every board member serve on one committee, This would allow those vacancies to be filled by those new people when they get on board.
Brad,
Yes, sir.
on the finance committee, do we elect those positions at a finance committee meeting, or could we do it today?
Well, again, what I was recommending was that we go ahead and just hold off. We make these recommendations that are listed in bold by people's names today, and then we hold off on the remaining vacancies until those 3 new PSTA board members get appointed.
Well, I would just like to say that I would be willing to be the vice chairman of the finance committee if Josh wanted to move up to be chairman.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for that. It's actually the committees themselves that pick chair and vice chair. So at our meeting next week, you can recommend that then.
I see where Josh is the chairman of the planning committee. He may not want to do both, but we'll maybe so, since they're back-to-back meetings.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but okay.
Any other comments? Okay, first of all, let me say good job, Brad, in recruiting folks to fill most of these positions, and thanks to everyone who did volunteer to participate. It's really a critical issue. I've been at one time or another on every committee, and I've enjoyed every one of them. They all have very important positions within the PSTA structure, and I encourage everyone to participate. And thank you for the people who have volunteered to join, and thank you to Michael Fredovich for not only volunteering to replace the 6 small cities that I currently represent, but also for jumping on a committee right away. Okay, so do I have a motion to approve staff's recommendation on PSTA's committees as submitted?
Hang on.
Julie, could you close?
May I ask a question?
Yes. Julie, can you close
I mean-
the slide, please?
Okay. Was someone saying something?
I did.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, the slate I thought was is recommended by us, not by staff.
Right, the slate would be recommended by the nominating committee, that would be what the
Right.
motion is, that you.
Okay, all right. It's in my,
Thank you.
yeah, that's fine. Okay,
Oh.
thank you for that correction, Commissioner Rice, appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to do a roll call vote at this time. Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Gerard, Commissioner Rice,
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett,
Yes.
and I myself, Chair Barkley, vote yes as well. So we have a unanimous vote. Thank you again to everyone who will be continuing to participate and for the new folks who are signing on to new committees. Does any committee member have any other business to bring before the committee at this time?
Chair Barkley?
Yes.
I would like to just make the nominating committee aware of an issue that came up this last go-round. As you know, Commissioner Barkley's seat on PSTA, he represents 5 inland cities of... Six. Bel Air Bluffs, Seminole, Kenneth City, Gulfport, and South Pasadena. Yeah. And the PSTA rules and regulations, the state legislation that created PSTA does not provide any kind of process toward what commissioner from that group of cities shall be on the PSTA board. There's really never been a process created to name the new one. As long as I've lived here, the commissioner that gets a majority of those city commissions to before the committee a person, it becomes the commissioner. I would like to just, I think what Barkley did throughout his term, I think that's what Commissioner Kathleen Peters did for Barkley, and what Michael Fredovich did. But the city of Seminole called me, and they were concerned that they had a gentleman on their board that was interested in serving, and he didn't do anything, so he didn't get that. And he asked that we create some kind of new process. That created PCA. Any kind of process toward. And I told them that I thought that was fine. I told him how the northern towns have an interlocal agreement amongst themselves to rotate a position. PSTA's attorney, Alan Zimmett, wanted me to make sure he was aware that it's not the PSTA board's agreement or decision. It is really up to the cities. It is up to them how they want to do it. They can do it any way they want. I am just simply letting you know that I offered to the city manager of Seminole that if all the cities would like to get together and create some new process, I'd be happy to facilitate that, to help them draft in a local agreement. Our attorney will do that, and just be sort of assist them in creating a process if they want to. Now, I have not heard anything since, so I don't know if they're going to want to do that or what. But it's not really PSDA's job to figure it out, but we'll help in there any way we can.
Well, if I may,
Go ahead, please.
while I recognize that it's not our job to figure it out, I do want to remind those of us that are here on this board that it was the city of Seminole who vehemently opposed green light, and it was Dr. Oliver who was really advocating. And in that role, I think he has begun, hopefully, to bring a breath of fresh air into that council, and I would really like to see us be able to utilize his skill sets if in fact he is willing to lend them, given that we have the opportunity.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, he and I had a good conversation about it.
Good.
Yeah, he's very interested in helping kind of lead the way in getting a
agenda, it would be nice to have, feel good at.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you. Any other comments? Anyone on video have comments? Okay. I'd just like to say, again, thank you for your participation. Thank all the people that stepped forward to accept positions on the various committees. And I know that 2021 will be an excellent year with this kind of excellent staff. This meeting is adjourned.
Okay. We'll go ahead and start the executive committee in 5 or 10 minutes? 5 minutes? Julie, is that okay? 5 minutes? You're muted. You're muted. Cannot hear you, Julie, but okay.
I don't have an agenda for the assessment.
No, we have two other people who are,
Oh, they're right here.
Oh, thanks, Dad.
we have two other people who are going to be on.
Dan
This-
Saraki
Dan
and
Saraki.
Gina.
Okay, so are they here already? Are they just dialing in? Because we're 15 minutes early. That's why I'm asking the question.
We're a little early.
Yeah.
And Dan was trying to call by using his hotel Wi-Fi, which I don't know if he's going to work.
Oh, okay,
He might be up by telephone.
okay.
And what about, Gina?
Gina's by Zoom. She confirmed. But it's a separate Zoom, right, for that meeting? No. I have to stop looking at this thing. I'm too used to Zoom.
Yeah, and from that corner over there, I couldn't see that screen, and I couldn't see
Oh.
this screen because it was too far away this morning.
Over there.
I was sitting over there. Yeah, Can you see that one, Pat? Yeah. No, I couldn't see it. They must have changed the angle. Oh, well.
Well, we talked about taking that big screen over there and moving it closer so we could all see it. We just don't want to block the camera that's in the back.
I guess I need to get my glasses changed.
But you can see that one, right? That one's a little harder.
Why don't you just move a little bit, Janet?
No, I
Well, we can all
I can
move
see
over.
this one.
Okay, good. All right, good.
So was Commissioner Seal at the earlier meeting today?
No, she's on the canvassing board auditing thing today.
Oh, okay, so
For
she
the
was not
election.
on Zoom. Did you have people on Zoom or no?
She's looking. No, we were here.
Okay.
We're hoping to get away from hybrid meetings. Yeah.
Well, theoretically, we can get 15 people around here. Although then the camera kind of cuts the people off on the sides.
Yeah, that's kind of hard, but.
Trish, can you hear me? Okay, you're muted. We're having some difficulty with sound in the room. We're trying to work it out. So I don't know if they can hear us. I know that they can see us, but that we're trying to fix sound now.
Hey, Julie, it looks like somebody put it on mute, according to the picture.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I just took myself off mute. It joined me automatically on mute.
so Vu doesn't have, let me get Vu on the phone. That's what's going wrong. He's got the
Yeah.
sound connected. All right, let me talk to him. Let me be.
I don't think they're actually on.
Why are we doing
Oh,
it?
they are?
You can see my background doesn't really want to cooperate. If I stay really still, it's okay, even though I look pretty blue like a Smurf.
Yeah.
Close or back, it starts just taking over my whole head. I'm going to try to stay very still. My husband and I are dog sitting right now.
So we might hear some barking.
I am so praying not, but it's possible. If the UPS truck pulls up, all bets are off.
I think I just heard Vu, maybe.
Hello?
Yep, we hear you, but it sounds like there's some humming.
Yeah. We had too many mics on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Dryden, is the other meeting still being broadcast somehow?
It was a minute ago.
Brad, is Vu there?
Yeah, Vu is
There's,
there.
okay, there's a humming going on. When people speak, I hear this humming sound.
Do you hear it now? Do you hear it now?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, maybe I'll turn mine off and hear Mark.
Still there.
What are you hearing?
Like a humming.
We're gonna be a couple minutes? Are we ready to go? Okay.
Right, Vu? Are we ready to go? All right.
Did Dan dial in? Dan Saraki was gonna dial in.
Julie, do we have Dan Saraki or Gina Driscoll online yet? Joe, I don't know if she can hear me. Oh, now she can. Hey, Julie. Julie. I'll text them. Okay. Is the audio not working? Vu. Dan Sareki and Gina are on Zoom. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there's just too many meetings in here.
Okay, can you hear me, Julie?
I can hear you.
Is any hum or it's all good?
There is a There is a little bit of a hum. It doesn't seem as bad as it was before.
Okay, all right. All right.
Barkley, can you talk and see if they can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Dan, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
Great. Is Commissioner Driscoll on? Is it just those? Is it just?
Joe, you look good.
Thank you. Yes, he does look good. Julie, I know you're muted and you're on the phone, but I hope you can hear me and see if
Okay.
Commissioner Driscoll.
We're streaming at this point, so just hold on a moment, okay? Well, we're working out some technical.
There she is.
Yeah, I hear the hum now.
Yeah, you got the. Well, what if you have one mic on at a time? Can somebody check that? Because that's the only difference between this and the other meeting, right?
Yeah, that's no different.
They had all the mics on too?
No, they turn off microphone, every one of it. Until somebody speak and then turn
Right.
on.
Should we try that?
That's,
It helps.
yeah, that's what we do right now.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're ready.
Okay, you got a hum.
No, it went away.
Yeah, there's no hum right now. Is it
It's
still
on the
very loud?
broadcast. Rachel, can you hear the hum?
Drew, can you show them?
A little bit.
Okay.
Can you show them? We can go ahead and start.
You go ahead and start this for right now.
Okay.
Ready to start?
Everybody there? Everybody can hear me okay?
Julie, we're gonna start.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the November 13th PSTA Executive Committee meeting. Today, we have board members Dan Saraki and Gina Driscoll attending by Zoom. We have a physical quorum present. Pursuant to our board rules and regulations, I need a motion authorizing board members Saraki and Driscoll to participate via Zoom in light of the COVID-19 pandemic that continues to cause health concerns for all of us, to be present at the meeting. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Gerard. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Long. Thank you both. Go to a roll call vote. Commissioner Long.
Yes.
Commissioner Gerard.
Yes.
Commissioner Driscoll.
Yes.
Commissioner Saraki.
Yes.
Okay, and myself, Chair Barkley votes yes. Universally accepted. Thank you very much. So now I'll call our meeting to order. And at this time, the public can make comments both in person and by phone by calling 1-415-655-0002. Our meeting ID number is 172-548-5920. Are there any members of the public present, in attendance, or on the phone who wish to speak?
There are no members of the public present or on the line that wish to speak, and there were no public comments received prior to the meeting by email or mail.
Okay, we also do not have written comment, Julie?
No written comments.
Okay, thank you. All right, at this time then I'll move to action items. Our first action item is to approve our August 12th, 2020 minutes.
Move approval.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Long, a second by Commissioner Gerard. So at this point, I will go to a roll call vote if there are no comments. Roll call vote. Commissioner Long.
Yes.
Commissioner Gerard.
Yes.
Commissioner Driscoll,
Yes.
Commissioner Saraki,
Yes.
and I myself, Chair Barkley, vote yes. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, our first informational item is our fiscal year 2020 scoreboard, and Trish Collins will take us through that program. Trish?
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Trish Collins, the Director of Human Resources, and I am very pleased to be here to present you the year-end scorecard for fiscal year 2020. Julie, is it possible for me to share my screen?
Yes.
Great. All right, is that visible? I believe everyone has a copy of this handout at your places, but it will be easier for us to talk through it if it's also visible on the screen. Every year, our scorecard is full of numbers that tell a story. And this year, the story shows that PSTA moved our priorities forward in the face of unprecedented challenges. Before we dive into it, I want to spend just a moment on navigating around the scorecard to make sure that everyone is comfortable with how the information is laid out. The first thing I'd like to draw your attention to is in the bottom right corner of the scorecard, which is our overall performance ratio of 102 points out of 100 points. That actually reflects bonus points for having exceeded many of our goals. Along the left-hand side, the very left side of the chart, are our 5 key strategic areas: community support, financial stability, customer service, employee engagement, and commitment to performance. Those are the 5 big bucket areas that are the most important priorities for PSTA. And you'll see within each area the specific metrics that we measure to assess our performance. We use a color coding system on the scorecard that helps to make it easy to see how we're doing in each area. Green means that we've met or exceeded our goal. Yellow means that we're just shy of our goal, achieving between 90 and 99.99% of where we wanted to be. Red means that we're more than 10% away from our goal. Green is great. Everybody loves green. Yellow and red are very good as well because they draw our attention to the areas that need more focus. So it's an important way to see at a glance which areas need a bit more attention and analysis. I'd like to take a look first at our metric of community support. I'm just going to highlight a few of the stories behind the numbers going through this scorecard. It is hard to think of a better vote of support than someone being willing to help financially sponsor your projects. We measure that with org2, the number of funding partnerships that we seek to achieve and maintain throughout the year. This fiscal year, or I guess last fiscal year, 2020, we achieved and maintained partnerships with Pinellas County, the City of St. Pete, Clearwater Beach, the City of Treasure Island, Tarpon Springs, the Florida Department of Transportation, and others. And these financial collaborations make possible additional service delivery, important amenities improvements, and our exciting autonomous vehicle project. Looking at our financial stability goal, we continue to demonstrate strong fiscal responsibility with the funds that taxpayers entrust with us. As you know, our fiscal year 2020 budget included a planned deficit. And as I'm sure you also know from hearing the CFO's reports, Debbie Leas's reports throughout the year, we were actually able to avoid incurring a deficit by the end of the year. I'd like to highlight our customer service metrics in particular. Our operations employees from top to bottom worked extremely hard this year to provide safe and reliable service for our customers during this pandemic. One very important safety measure that we took early on was to limit the capacity in our buses so that our riders had extra room to be able to safely distance themselves from each other while they were riding. Implementing that idea took excellent on-the-ground customer service from our drivers in the moment. And it also took expert service management from our transportation leaders. They did that so well and successfully managed the operations this year to the degree that we actually exceeded our overall customer satisfaction ratings from last year. And we very nearly maintained the Net Promoter Score that we had from fiscal year 2019. And when you consider the challenges that our riders and our operators and the county and the country faced this year, that's an extraordinary achievement. Taking a look at employee engagement, one piece that I'd like to highlight is our employee training, Org 15. As you know, training is an extremely important priority that we invest in the organization. And this year, we were able to deliver training to 84% of our entire employee population and 98% rating that it was effective in making our employees stronger performers. We also challenged ourselves to reduce the voluntary departures by a full percentage point from last year. We did reduce our year-over-year voluntary turnover, but this is an important metric that we're going to continue to analyze and focus on as fiscal year 21 progresses. I'll also make a note that you'll see that Org 14 does not yet have a score. Every year we measure how successfully our entire employee base is able to achieve the individual goals that they set with their managers at the beginning of the fiscal year as a measure of their effectiveness and the ability to carry out the goals that were given to them. That metric is measured after our performance reviews are completed, which should be done in mid-December. The final section that I'd like to comment on is our commitment to performance. And this is made up of two very important areas for us. Org 17 measures how we compare to our peers, and Org 18 measures our progress with our Sunrunner Rapid Transit project. Firstly, we're members of the American Bus Benchmarking Group. This is 20 transit agencies from around the country that collaborate and compare performance data and best practices with each other so that we can all improve. Every year, we select the metrics where we have the most room for improvement compared to our peers. We selected 4 that we'd like to improve in, and we did that. We improved by reducing our vehicle collisions, increasing the training that we provided to our drivers, improving our on-time performance, and increasing our fuel effectiveness. Finally, as you know, we've had a tremendous year for the Sunrunner project, breaking ground and launching the construction phase, which of course will continue through the remainder of this fiscal year. So to conclude, I'd like to come back to the story that these numbers tell. And that's a story of strong leadership that maintain a keen focus on the most important critical strategic areas that PSTA focuses on, providing value to our community, our taxpayers, our riders, our employees, and the region. And with that, I'd love to take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Bishop.
Anybody?
Yes, Dr.
Trish, could you go over Org 8, please? Given the fact that we had a maximum amount of riders that were allowed during the pandemic, is there, is part of that score because we had fewer riders as a result of that restriction?
It is in part. We did see some ridership decreases this year as we encouraged people to to focus on essential rides. But we were able to very closely almost achieve that goal. Again, due to some of the efforts of our operations department, they were able to add additional buses into routes to pick up passengers when there was overflow beyond capacity. And we worked very hard to make sure that people didn't have lengthier wait times for a bus that would come by that had capacity to accommodate them. So yes, it was lower in part due to some of the effects of the pandemic. But I think that there were some great mitigating actions taken by the operations department.
Okay, thank you. And then on Org 16, is there a differential between someone who leaves to take a position locally as opposed to maybe somebody whose spouse takes a job in California or something and they move out of the area as a result of that?
Right. That's a very good point. There is an understandable difference between those two things. We don't differentiate between those types of situations in our metric. What we're looking at are people who quit, who leave the organization voluntarily for any reason. And yes, sometimes that's going to be circumstances that could not have been prevented. But we do, as most organizations do, we look at all of those voluntary departures together as one metric.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Chair Barkley?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair Barkley. Thank you, Trish. I just wanted to summarize that we feel it's very important for the executive committee to get an update of our scorecard that we time to have every quarter, that the executive committee just checks in, but please feel free to go to bed every night knowing that PSTA is following the data very carefully every single day of the year, and this drills down to the departments, down to the individual employees' performance and pay increases related on the score that ultimately they get that leads to this. So it just kind of shows and makes me go to bed at night feeling better that we are really a data-driven organization, that all things are moving ahead, and I can see this myself and see a lot of green on it. That makes me very happy, and I want to thank Trish and the whole team that puts this all together for us. I think it is just good for us all just to kind of see on a regular basis, just to know that all the different parts of the organization are how they're all doing.
Okay, thank you. All right, good job, Trish. Thank you very much. We appreciate your input.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's move along to
Excuse me.
4B, board agenda review. Brad, would you take us through the December board agenda, please?
Did one of the members on Zoom have a question? Julie? Or
Gotta speak up.
Yes, Gina Driscoll had her hand raised.
okay. I think she's on mute.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Sorry about this. I'm having my own technical difficulties here today. I just wanted to thank you all. I mean, this is the kind of report that in a year like what we have been experiencing, you wouldn't expect to, see such incredible performance. And it just really speaks to the leadership and the entire team at PSTA and how you've been able to per serve year to keep those, service levels up and do whatever you can to serve our county, through some really trying times. So I didn't have any questions. I'm sure Barclay had asked one that I had wondered about regarding the revenues. So I'm good with that. But I just wanted to thank you and tell you all just how proud I am of the performance and how things are looking right now. And just to thank you for everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Ready to talk about the
Board appointments?
the agenda, right?
Yes.
The December board agenda?
Yeah, board agenda, sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
So this is in your Granicus packet, and it's attached to the packet that we have here. I'll just quickly mention that we've got a number of recognitions at the beginning. We will be recognizing our great chair Barkley for his last meeting, as well as Commissioner Rice leaving us. And I heard a rumor that we might have Commissioner Welch coming back. Not that he gets another lifetime bus pass because he already has one, but he will be, I think, joining us by Zoom to take another victory lap. So that's great that he might be here too. So we'll have those recognitions. And then Mr. Jeff Bennett is a bus operator with PSTA, no relation to our board member Richard, but he, just a couple weeks ago, he did a really heroic thing where he was very alert and he noticed two girls got on his bus that seemed pretty young and not where they're supposed to be with no adult, and he got them. He was smart enough to recognize that. He called the authorities. He did exactly what we trained all of our employees to do in a case like this, and he got these two girls back to their parents. And that was really great. So we're going to thank him for that. The consent agenda is pretty much the Finance Committee's agenda next week. It's got all the things for people on our Zoom call today. We've got Security and Access Controls contract, which is the card key system and the camera system, security system at PSTA that is now 15 years old, that was here from the building and needs replacement. A very important HR tracking system that HR department uses very carefully and really will help us sort of advance our monitoring of who applies and who we hire, which is important. Bus procurements, a new data server, maybe that will help the audio, right, Julie? I don't know. And then the nominating committee's recommendations will finish up the meeting. So it should be a good meeting in December. For Commissioner Saraki and Driscoll, who are with us now, I should mention what I mentioned at the nominating committee, that I don't think we'll have a Dunedin representative appointed yet for the meeting, and we may not have a county, City of St. Petersburg appointment yet to replace Commissioner Rice. But she will be here for the December meeting, she told me. So we'll have them in place for the January meeting. But other than that, should be a good meeting. Reminder, it's the week after Thanksgiving on December 2nd. So we'll see you there.
Good, thank you. All right, and do we have anything to add on board appointments over what we just?
I don't think so. I think we covered that pretty much in the
about
nominating committee.
Yeah. Okay. Does any other member have any other business to bring before the committee? Raise your hand if you're on video. Okay, seeing none. I'd just like to say this is my last executive meeting, and I've enjoyed all my meetings with PSTA. I've been here quite a long time, and I really have enjoyed not only working with people from other cities, and the county folks as well, but I've also enjoyed learning a lot about a very important component to our county. Transportation is a key component, and PSCA does it very well, and I've been proud to be a part of that. So with that, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, for your service. Great job.
Thank
Great
you.
job. Thank you. Bye. Okay.
Happy sure to say congratulations to Eric. And thank you so much for stepping up. I appreciate it.